Primal Fear is a really interesting film. Not as good as I thought it was going to be based on the age of one of the characters, but nevertheless, I still thought it was pretty decent. This was released in 1996. It's directed by Gregory Hoblit, written by Steve Shagan and Anne Biderman, based on the novel by William Deal, with a cast including Richard Gere, Edward Norton, Laura Linney, John Mahoney, and various others. It's because of John Mahoney that I wanted to watch this. And we also have what sounded like a really interesting story. It still ends up being really fascinating, but as I said, because of the age of one of the characters, it wasn't quite as dramatic as I thought. It was a different experience, not a bad experience, but different. I haven't read the book. I don't know how it compares. If anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share, but I'm going to assume the characters are the same ages in the book, and Gere plays a defense attorney called Martin Vail, who takes on the case of an Alfre boy accused of killing a Catholic bishop. And I thought, okay, that sounds brilliant, because in my mind I assumed the Alfre boy was in fact a young boy. And when you have a young child involved in something as dark as murder, certainly in fiction, in real life that's horrific, but in fiction, that dichotomy there of childhood innocence and the evil of murder is always really fascinating. However, it turns out the Alfre boy is not a child, but a much older teenager, so it wasn't the experience I was expecting, but it still worked really well. It's still a strong concept and still very well executed. We explore this story, of course, and one of the big questions is, did he do it? Did this character, I haven't said his name yet, his name is Aaron, did he do it? I'm not going to say, of course, but it's a fascinating story. It's well executed. There's a lot of emotion in this. The pacing is really great. The character writing is very strong, particularly with Aaron. I found him to be really fascinating, and the performance there was absolutely fantastic. The narrative has great pacing. We have some really great dialogue with some really thought-provoking moments. Visually, it's satisfying as well, with great locations and camera work and lighting, and all round I thought Primal Fear was a really solid film. Again, not the film I'd expected, based purely on the fact that I didn't realise Alfre boys could be much older. I thought they were very young. But again, that's not the film's fault, and I assume the ages are the same in the book. But that's just worth bearing in mind. If you go into it thinking it's going to be that darker dichotomy there, it's not quite the case. But it's still a solid film with incredibly well-written characters, great performances, and honestly, I can't fault it. I thought it was a solid film, and if it sounds like a story for you, then I'm very happy to recommend it.